Hold still. Sit, fishies. Sit. Sit. No? Oh. I want to film this. I want to film this and also do it at the same time. Film the fun. Oh, it's not gonna end. This isn't gonna work. Hi, Lenny here with Mr. Kitty, aka Methy, aka Mephistopheles. My wonderful, wonderful big black kitty who I adore. And this is going to be our first look at the goldfish growth rate between the two goldfish, one who is 6 years old and one who is 2 years old, with different backgrounds, who are now in the exact same circumstances. That's what we're going to be talking about in this video. But I did want to give a quick talk because it is Friday the 13th here, and superstition is still very real, and people are very mean to black cats, black dogs. They are less likely to be adopted, more likely to be abused. It's really, really sad because they are wonderful pets. Mephistopheles here's story is actually that he was a kitten born the summer after Hurricane Katrina, which really devastated the New Orleans area here in America. And I went down there to do Habitat for Humanity, which is a nonprofit that builds houses for people who have been displaced. And Mephistopheles was this little kitten in the neighborhood that we were working on. And the kids in the neighborhood were always bullying him and picking on him and throwing him in the lake and poking him with sticks. And they were just being kids, but it wasn't right. And he was this itty-bitty kitty all alone. And so I tried to take him to a shelter, and the shelter told me, "We're sorry, but if we take him, he will get put down because he's a black kitten, and people don't adopt black cats because people are still superstitious about black animals in this day and age." So please, if you own black pets, keep them inside on things like Friday the 13th and Halloween and stuff. And please, if you are considering adopting a cat or a dog, think about one of these wonderful, wonderful black kitties or puppies. You know I have both. So, all right. On to the goldfish experiment. This cat clearly wants to sleep and have me leave him alone, and the sliding isn't doing any of us any favors. In case you couldn't tell from the footage I included at the beginning of this video, I could not measure and film these fish at the same time. I don't know why I thought I could. That was really silly. And I also do want to make a disclaimer that I am not going to be weighing my fish or getting them out of the water and turning them on their sides just to measure them. I am going to be eyeballing it with a or I have already eyeballed it with a measuring tape, and I just don't think it's worth it to stress them out doing it the other way just for the sake of us knowing. And this is a long-term kind of tracking project. This isn't a something we're gonna know the end result of in a month or two. So yeah, we're not going to stress them out that way. But I did want to introduce, this is, oh, my fingers are terrible. I've been moving things all day and water changing. This is Bernini. Bernini was one of the very first goldfish I got, and he was a feeder bin rescue, and along with little Mr. and Mrs. Goldiefish there. And so feeder fish don't have a great start to life, but once he came to me, he pretty much started getting in good care almost right away. I had some beginner mistakes, but within 6 months, he was in a 40-gallon breeder, and within a year, they were in this tank. And this other fish we're looking at is Phoenix. Phoenix is roughly, oh, and Bernini's roughly 2 years old now. Phoenix is roughly 6 years old. I have had her roughly a year, and she was kept in a 10-gallon tank with another goldfish, her friend behind her, actually Dumbo Jumbo Jr., for the first 5 years of her life. There were 2 goldfish in a 10-gallon tank, and she was surrendered to me by a friend who didn't mean to be mistreating them at all. She just didn't quite understand goldfish because they're kind of particular, and she knew that, so she surrendered him to me. I think Phoenix is a her, based on some chasing behavior I've seen. But anyway, so Phoenix, the first 5 years of her life, was kept in really less than ideal circumstances, minimal water changes, flake food, nothing special, versus Bernini, who's roughly 2 years old and has been kept in pretty ideal circumstances most of his life. And so we're going to compare how big these two grow to be now that their circumstances are exactly the same. They're in this 75-gallon tank with lots and lots and lots of filtration. They get a healthy, varied diet. And I can tell you that Phoenix has already put on roughly an inch since I got her. She is measuring in as the biggest fish in the tank at roughly 6.5 inches from lips down to the little fork in their tail. That's how I measured them from this point of the dorsal fin up to their little lips. And Bernini came in at 5.75 inches. So he, while only being 2 years old, is just a little bit smaller. I'm so sorry. My battery died in the middle of that last sentence. Editing Langan will try to fix it as much as Editing Langan can, but it's gonna have a kind of awkward clip from whatever the last word you just heard me say was to hear, oops. So yes, at 6 years old, Phoenix is 6.5 inches, and Bernini is coming in at 5.75, and they are just about the same size, but Phoenix is a little bigger. And we will check again to see how much they have grown in 8 weeks. Thanks for your interest in this topic and these videos. Please like and subscribe. And thank you very much for checking out my videos and channels. And love your pets. They will love you back. Happy Friday the 13th.